Welcome to the Pete Della Torre Business Program Entrepreneurial Hour, hosted by Pete Della Torre, President and CEO of the Renatus Group. The Pete Della Torre Business Program will discuss economic development and business opportunities for South Florida. The Pete Della Torre Business Program is sponsored by Great Florida Bank, Esserman International, Community Newspapers, Titan America, and Holiday Inn Coral Gables.
Good morning, South Florida. This is Pete Della Torre, and welcome to the Pete Della Torre Business Program for an August 1st, 2012. So glad you're joining us this morning. Just another movement forward in 2012. This year is flying by. We have 5 months left, but a lot to do, a lot of exciting things coming up. Of course, we're getting hot and heavy into the political season. There are a little bit, I think it's like 97, 98 days left until the elections on November 6th. And, honestly, my friends, I cannot wait till November 7th so we can go back to normal, because this is getting really crazy. But, we come to expect it every year. And it is very, very important because we have elections not just nationally, but statewide and locally here. And we, if you are a registered voter, you have a privilege, and it's very important that you take advantage of that and do take the time to vote. There will be an early election for the county here locally on the 14th, so we're under 2 weeks away there. And we've got elections coming up in multitude of areas for school board, county mayor. So again, if you are registered to vote, this is your time to make your voice known. To hopefully try to shape the future of our local communities here. We have another 2-hour show in front of you here. Of course, the first hour is the Entrepreneur Hour, where we focus on entrepreneur success stories and resources available for the local small business owner. And there's so much to talk about along those lines. And in the coming weeks, you're going to get to hear what all that exciting information is all about. And to headline our Entrepreneur Hour, we have got some phenomenal guests that have joined us here this morning. The first guest will be a dear, dear friend of mine, Gail Bergs, who is celebrating her 22nd anniversary leading CMA Enterprise, and we have some really cool things we're going to talk about here. So Gail's in studio, and just a phenomenal lady, well-connected in the community, and just has some really good things to share with all of us. The second guest, of course, is our Great Florida Bank segment that we do every week. We have a really interesting guy that I met for the first time this morning. I saw him last Friday night from afar at an event at Great Florida Bank, hosted in Little Havana. But is a local artist, Cesar Santalo. He is the artist behind the Cuban Nostalgia posters. And if many of you I know that are familiar with those, he does phenomenal work, and he has brought here to the studio some of the samples of some of the paintings, and they are absolutely fantastic, rich with history. So we'll talk a little bit with him in a second. Of course, joining us every week here, front and center, and sometimes just in the back waving and directing us all, is the Director of Marketing at Great Florida Bank, Barbara Marcel, alias the Doctor of Marketing, and she will be on as well with Caesar. And the third guest in the first hour is a young lady that I met about 2 weeks ago. She works in the same building that I have my office, and you're going to get to know her. She's got a great, great story to tell. Her name is Edna Gutierrez. She has a new company called OIS Inc., Optical Image Supplies. And she is very, very fascinating. Just opened up the business. So you talk about someone with energy that's a new entrepreneur, young, that is going to take the world by storm and probably retire in about 10 years. She will be joining us towards the end of the first hour. And in between them, I want to share with you a South Florida small business resource, some information that could be very, very important for you as if you're considering to open up a business or just open one up. These are 10 tips for small business startups that want to turn dreams into reality. So I will be sharing a little bit with that in the second half hour. And of course, at 11 a.m., we restarted all over again with the Power Hour, and we have some two guests that will be joining us then, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it towards the end of this segment here. So, without further ado, it is my pleasure to bring to the Pete Della Torre Business Program someone, and I need to remind her of this because she played a major part in, just making it possible for me to even get on the radio. When I was at the Doral Business Council, George Gavada, my good friend, general manager here in the station, told me about 3 years ago that when I was at the Doral Business Council that we should have a radio show. And I thought it was a pretty cool idea and circulated it to our board of directors. And I guess that idea was a little bit ahead of its time for the group. But after a few months of going back and forth and having dialogue, and of course led and spearheaded by Gail, we opened up a show in the summer of 2010, ran it for 9 months, and then that was the catalyst that allowed me and gave me the inspiration of doing my own show. So I owe a lot to Gail to continually pushing that envelope forward there. So without further ado, Gail, welcome to the show.
Well, good morning, Pete. It's good to be back in the same room with you again.
This is great. It's my friends. You're gonna hear some great things from Gail, and just a phenomenal lady. But before we get going into the meat and potatoes of our conversation, how are you doing? And let the listeners know, learn a little bit about Gail.
Oh, wow. Well, I think first and foremost, I'm Courtney's mom.
Absolutely.
When it comes to what's most important, it's being a mom before I'm anything else. I have lived in South Florida for 30 years now, and I can't believe it's been that long. And I've been an entrepreneur probably longer than I was in corporate. I'm a former banker, used to put people in business, recycle businesses, restructure businesses. So I'm very familiar with all the ins and outs of working with organizations. And that parlayed into what I do now at CMA Enterprise, where we help businesses be more profitable, be more efficient, be more effective. We help the people in the organizations become better leaders, become better employees. So I'm just having a good time. I tell people I haven't worked in 22 years. I'm semi-retired, and I just happen to be able to earn a living doing it.
Well, you know something? I am close to celebrating my 1-year anniversary as the Renatus Group.
Oh, congratulations.
And, some days I look back and I say, whoa. But you know something? I am working harder than ever, but the difference is I am enjoying it more than ever.
Yeah.
Because we have an opportunity every single day, and this is for all the entrepreneurs that are out there listening today, aspiring entrepreneurs. You have an opportunity to create on a daily basis.
Exactly.
Without anyone else telling you, well, that's not such a good idea, and this, that, and the other, and you're going to make it or break it. You're on your own, but if you have that passion for what you do,
mm-hmm.
and the key to everything is always keep in mind that you have to help others. The value that you bring and all that.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it.
Well, there's a whole new movement now. It's not a new movement, but it's been given a name, and it's called social entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that anyone who is in business for themselves needs to understand that people do business with people that they like, people that they trust, and people that they have a comfort level with. Mm-hmm. And if you're new on the horizon, how best can you do that other than volunteering?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the relationships that I've built over the years came from volunteering. And not just joining an organization and being in the general membership, joining an organization and getting into the leadership circles, mm-hmm. Running a committee, being on a board. Not only does it help you to give back, but it also helps you to showcase your talents. And to give you one example, the Doral Business Council.
Yes.
We were able to showcase and pilot our strategic planning toolkit, mm-hmm. which is now a major product for us. And it let people see, one, how it worked, and two, what it was contained, and the impact that it did for the organization, the new services, the new ventures, new members coming in, the inclusive management, fundraising in a non-traditional way. So, if you're looking to get on the radar, you've got to be a socialpreneur versus just an entrepreneur. I
have to always remind myself, because I get into my work and I lose track of time, that the work that we do in our office when we're doing our busy stuff, or we're getting ready, we're doing our research, and we're making our phone calls, is critical. But the most important part is to be out there and networking and getting in front of people and talking to them, because at the end of the day, we're not doing business with computers. I mean, and Barbara's heard me say this a million times, is, technology today, which is driving our world, is not really the way to do business. It is a tool to help you do business, but at the end of the day, it is about that face-to-face, shaking hands, interacting with other folks there, to the degree that golden rule business is on my website's homepage. Yeah. Because I truly believe that more than ever, that's more important.
Yeah, and it is. And I use the internet a lot in terms of marketing.
Right.
We have a huge database. I mean, in 22 years, you kind of build up a few names. But everyone that we reach out to when it comes to our internet marketing efforts, we've touched. We've got a card from them. So our response rate is probably going to be a lot higher than somebody who just bought a cold list and doesn't know the people. When someone gets something from us, they respond because it is us. And that makes a big difference.
It really does. And it is today uniqueness of product, of service, pricing. It's a level playing field.
Yeah.
And with technology today, you come up with a new idea or something you think that's so unique, trust me, you're going to at least have a copycat in within a couple of days. Yeah. So then what? Then what do you do next? And it boils down to you as a professional.
Well, you have to keep innovate. Innovation is the key. One of the things that we do, corporations, companies of any size and category have shifted. So have their budgets, which is like smaller. So what we have done is we have gone virtual with a lot of our products. Our small business products, we found that people in the small business community just starting out still wanted to be touched by CMA. So what we've done is we've taken our products, we've put them into workbooks, we've put them online in videotape, not videotapes, I'm sorry, audio tapes, so that the small business community can still access the lessons learned through CMA Enterprise. But we have taken and are constantly uploading our products and services onto the web. So our website now has a huge store of our products. It still gives the clients the access, but it gives them at a more affordable price versus having someone physically in the classroom. I'm running 3 programs right now as I'm talking to you, but I can do it because they're on the web.
So you've cloned Gail?
I have cloned Gail. Ooh, that was a major job.
Yeah. You're here, but you're doing this at the same time.
I'm doing 3 other classes at the same time.
Hey, Gail, speaking of that, I understand that you're launching some new products for the general public this year. What are they, and more importantly, why now?
Why now? Because it's time. It's time. I'm not 25 anymore, so
join the club.
I'm 26, but I think that the new generation that's coming out here lives, eats, and breathes technology and
Absolutely.
The internet. And what we're doing, and 2 big products that I'm most proud of are our Lean Six Sigma products. We have taken Lean Six Sigma and made it easy. And we've also converted it for the business person.
And Six Sigma is, if it's not the best program in the marketplace.
Right.
I mean, it is up there.
Yeah, it's there. And it's difficult to understand and very intimidating. I'm a black belt in Lean Six Sigma, and I'm preparing.
Don't mess with Gail.
I'm preparing to apply for my master black belt. But even with that being said, I wanted this to be able to get out to the masses and be understood. Mm-hmm. So we've taken Lean Six Sigma from what the engineers have done, and we've converted it to business language. Mm-hmm. And getting some good responses for it. And then the other one, as I had spoken to you earlier, we've taken our strategic planning package that we use when we work with organizations, whether you're a small business for-profit or a not-for-profit organization, big business, government, or corporate, the tool is the same. Mm-hmm. And we are preparing to launch a community workshop series. One for individuals who wish to understand how can I better plan for my organization. And then the second track is going to be for practitioners like yourself, mm-hmm. who want to have the right tools when they stand in front of their clients.
Absolutely.
So to be certified in one of our toolkits, which is what we're calling them, can be pretty phenomenal because you're coming in with a tested product. We have one client, they're still my favorite, that we ran this toolkit with a few years ago, and within 3 months after they finished with us, they landed a $2 million unrestricted grant. And in the nonprofit community, that's unheard of.
That is really unheard of, especially in this climate today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, as a matter of fact, it was an organization that I was talking with the doctor of marketing about. And it allowed them for the first time in their 25-year history to have a reserve, and it also allowed them to buy their new building that they're in right now outright.
That is a great story.
It was phenomenal, and it still gives me chills when I talk about it. So our products work, and we don't put anything in front of our clients that hasn't already been proven and tested by us. We put ourselves through the gauntlet.
That is terrific. Now, you and I are passionate, in the topic of training. But what I'm running into, and I'm sure you've been running into a while, is the fact that a lot of businesses, large, medium, small, are actually they're pulling back their training dollars. Mm-hmm. They don't have the time, or they obviously they don't see the value of investing in training. So the little training that companies are doing today is just to train their salespeople, business development people on the products and the features of those products, and then turn them loose, make it happen. And then they have expectations on bringing in numbers, on hitting goals and all that. But these folks are going out there without the necessary tools. Right. And some, tools that have worked for ages, but yet being reminded that those tools need to be applied more than ever. And then at the same time, learning some new ideas, thinking out of the box. So it's needed more than ever, but yet companies are not doing it.
Yeah. And that's the biggest challenge that, I saw when I was in corporate. I'm a former banker, and I was in business development. I was a developer. And one of the things my bosses used to criticize me on was, you were always in class. I'm like, well, if not me, who?
Right.
But I think that the biggest mistake organizations can do, regardless of the size, is pull back on training in bad times. Bad times don't last forever, but good times can if you prepare for them. And in slow times, low times, that's when training needs to happen.
Absolutely.
Because when the economy rounds the curve, and it is.
Your people are ready.
Your people are ready to rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
We have spent this time, as I just said, developing new product, training, personal development. If you're an entrepreneur, do not stop developing yourself.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Amen.
Always in training. Being trained, get yourself a good mentor, someone who will tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. I have mentors. Gail Burks has mentors who will look at her and say, "What are you thinking?" Mm-hmm. Why did you do that? So people that will tell you those kind of things to keep you on the right track.
These are people that have your best interests at heart. You know,
exactly.
They're going to tell you what you said right now. So, and we've talked about it. You know, Barbara has heard this, and we've chatted about it. Is that, you know, it's like a good doctor. Again, we go back to the doctor example. A good doctor is going to tell you not necessarily what you want to hear, but what you need to hear for your own good. And that's the world that we're in today, is that we've got to realize that we're going to be competitive. We're going to be able to not just survive. You know, that word survive is okay, but to excel in this economy today.
You know, I think that that's absolutely correct. I think that those of us who have been able to weather this storm, are we beaten up, bruised, got a couple broken bones? Yeah, but Cass can fix that. You got to be able to play to win. At CMA Enterprise, we play to win. Mm-hmm. And that's what we go in and show our customers how to do. Play to win again and again and again. And it takes certain special tools to do that. We want, let's give you an example. You know, my sister has a company that you would think would be the last thing on the planet that anybody would do. They recycle bras. Right. I'm getting eyebrows raised in the studio here.
And listeners, you should see the looks on everybody's faces here.
But she serves people all over the world, women all over the world who are underserved in destitute organizations. She now has corporate partners. And through her research has learned that, you know, these companies throw their old models away when the new season comes in.
That's the beauty of the fashion world, you know. It's just
unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Unbelievable. So
you know what's unbelievable? You know what's unbelievable? We've run out of time.
Oh,
that is really unbelievable. Gail, you have an open door here. I want to bring you back. We need to really take apart some of these areas and talk a little bit further, because it's merited. I mean, it is just, there's too much good information out there. There's great work that you do, and the community needs to know about it. And in today's world, you got to tune in, get the right information, but even more importantly, implement. So we're going to be talking more about that. For the benefit of the listeners, what is the very best way to get a hold of you?
The best way to call me or get in touch with me is through our office line. You can call us on either 954-476-3525, or the Miami number is 786-423-0155. But our website is where your journey can begin. And that website address is www.cma-ent.com.
I love it. Gail, thank you so much for coming out this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Have a blessed day, and we'll continue to chat.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go to a break, and we'll be right back with the Pete Della Torre Business Program.
We'll be right back with the Pete Della Torre Business Program, sponsored by Great Florida Bank, Esserman International, Community Newspapers, Titan America, and Holiday Inn Coral Gables.
Hi, I'm Pete Della Torre, host of the Renata's Business Hour show. Do you hate your bank? Don't care? Are you tired of never being able to contact your banker and getting charged a fee for almost everything you do? Always being in the back of the line? If so, you might want to listen to what I have to say about my bank, Great Florida Bank. Here I get personalized, concierge-style service. And now is a great time to sign up for Great Florida Bank's Merchant Services Mobile Credit Card Processing Solution. Their team will take a look at your processing needs, and if a mobile solution works for you, they'll give you a mobile card reader for free. If Great Florida Bank can't meet or beat your current processing rates, you'll receive $500. And I'm going to share one of Great Florida Bank's best kept secrets. They never charge customers to use ATMs nationwide. Plus, if another bank charges you an ATM fee, they reimburse that ATM fee anywhere in the U.S. At Great Florida Bank, they take pride in offering personalized customer service and even give their customers their cell number. If you want a banking experience like mine, the Great Florida Bank Standard of Banking, call my personal banker, Obdulio Piedra, Great Florida Bank's Miami-Dade Market President. Call his cell, 305-514-6450, and tell Obdulio I sent you.
Today, everyone wants to be environmentally responsible, but you can't recycle your way to sustainability. Real sustainability goes far beyond recycling and requires us to consider the three competing factors at work in our world: the economy, the environment, and society. By choosing concrete as your preferred building and paving material, you will achieve sustainable results in all three areas. Concrete's durability allows homes and structures built with concrete or concrete block to withstand Florida's severe weather and keep your family safe within your financial means. Concrete roads and parking lots are also very affordable, have much cooler surface temperatures, and last 3 to 5 times longer than asphalt, providing a much higher value for the money on public projects funded with your tax dollars. Lastly, concrete pavements allow shorter stopping distance in both wet and dry conditions and are reflective, providing safer conditions and better visibility at night for both pedestrians and motorists while using less energy at a lower overall cost. Choose concrete, the material for life. A message from Titan America, one of Florida's leading cement and concrete manufacturers. Visit them at TitanAmerica.com or call them at 954-481-2800.
Forever Smile Dentistry is dedicated to serve patients in our community. Their state-of-the-art technology allows them to offer you and your family the highest level of care you're looking for. They will give you a warm welcome and ongoing commitment to your dental health and beauty. Dr. Amaral and her experienced team are committed to excellence by providing you with the highest quality and ethical treatment modern dentistry has to offer. They work with their patients so they can achieve and maintain a beautiful smile and healthier gums and teeth. They take the time with their patients to explain their treatment options and inform them of additional preventative care. They feel this will lead to a more trusting doctor-patient relationship and, for many people, relieve the stress about seeing a dentist. Have you ever dreamed of that perfect smile? Well, here is where your dreams come true. Visit their website, www.foreversmiledentistry.com. To make an appointment, call 305-274-0425. Welcome back to the Pete Della Torre Business Program, sponsored by Great Florida Bank, Esserman International, Community Newspapers, Titan America, and Holiday Inn Coral Gables.
Welcome back, my friends, to the Pete Della Torre Business Program, and I want to thank again Gail Burke. She had so much fun doing the segment that she said, "Can I hang around and sit here? I'm just, having a great time." So I said, "Of course, sit back and enjoy it." So Gail's still with us here, and again, just phenomenal information, and we will, her and I have an opportunity to have some more dialogue on the show here because it's just things that are just so critical in today's world for the entrepreneur, the small business owner. Now, we do a pivot here, and we bring on, of course, what we do every week with our great friends at Great Florida Bank. And here today, she'll pop in periodically and say hello, but we're going to really get to talk to her today, this morning. That's, of course, Barbara Murcell, the Vice President, Director of Marketing at Great Florida Bank and the Doctor of Marketing. And we have a special guest here, Cesar Santalo, the artist behind the Cuba Nostalgia posters. And again, he has brought some of his work here for us to look at. And of course, this is a radio show. You can't see what I'm seeing, but it is just great work, great detail, very, very focused. I mean, it's very, very interesting. So,
but guess what, Pete?
Yes, ma'am.
That's why he has a website.
Oh, we're going to talk about that a lot. Yes, sir. We're yes, ma'am. We're going to talk a lot about that here today. So, welcome to both of you. How are we doing today?
Great. Pleasure being here.
Great.
Thank you so much.
And before we start, let's do a happy birthday to Pete
Oh,
today.
goodness.
Happy birthday, Pete.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. I was holding on for dear life up until about 11:59 p.m. last night to the age that I was before, but that didn't work because today happened. It's here. So thank you very much, and
have a great day today.
I appreciate it. Now, doing the show is just a lot of fun. So I don't even look at this as work. This is a lot of fun here. So, Barbara, how did your collaboration with Caesar come about? How did that develop? Because I think it's pretty interesting.
Well, we're always looking for something new. We do a lot of grassroots marketing, which entails a lot of different networking events and things like that to bring people together. So, we have a great venue, a great office in Little Havana. And, the last Friday of every month, they have Cultural Fridays, which is such a fun time. For people who have never been there, they should really go out and see what's going on there. It's beautiful with the art. The food is unbelievably delicious.
Little Havana, I'm telling you, is becoming. I know we have other spots in Miami-Dade County. We have South Beach, Ocean Drive.
There's nothing like this, though.
Coral Gables, in Coconut Grove. But the culture and the history and the
artwork,
the
and
artwork,
cigars.
Absolutely, I love
and
it.
The mojitos.
The mojitos. I think that was the best part of it.
That was the best part.
And I was there Friday night, and thank you for inviting
you were there
me.
at our
And
event. So that's, just getting back to where, Leslie Pantene is an icon. Caesar, you were saying, what do you call him? Mr. Miami? Mr. Miami?
Yeah, Mr. Miami.
Yeah.
Mr. Miami.
And so he put us in touch with Caesar, because Leslie is, he's the vice chairman of Great Florida Bank, and he's a great friend to us. And, he knows everybody in the city, and we wanted to have a wonderful artist to come out to our Solution Center. And thank you, Caesar, for agreeing to come out and display your artwork. Just beautiful, beautiful artwork.
Thank you very much.
And so that's how we started that.
It's when you look at the business climate and the business world, I mean, there's so many different components to it, but arts and culture, music, is an integral part of business today. And it is a great rallying point, bringing people together that have a common interest, and it breaks down the barriers and just creates a lot of camaraderie here. So, I think this is a great piece. We had Roberto Ramos here a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And he's right next to your Solution Center, which we'll get back to in a second.
Beautiful space he has.
Oh,
there.
it's really, really a lot of fun. And we'll, in the coming weeks, we'll talk about a big event that we're doing in September. Where is the Solution Center in Little Havana?
Well, it's right across the street from the Domino's Park, and then there's the Tower Theater. Is it called the Tower Theater?
I believe
It's
so.
out there, right on the corner. So we're like right in the middle of everything, and it's just a very fun place to be. And we'd just like to connect with the community out there and be a part of it. So that's something that we really enjoy doing. I think next month, it was Pete, it was really hot out there.
Oh, it was
that Friday night. It was,
and I had a jacket on, and I regretted. I should have left that jacket in the car.
So I think we talked with Roberto at Cuba Ocho, and we're gonna do something over there, and maybe kind of do something back and forth. Our Solution Center and his store. So.
Well, he's a customer of Great Florida Bank.
He is a customer of Great Florida Bank.
So that's a good alliance to have
yes.
there. Of course, this event is called Viernes Culturales.
Yes. I
And
can't say it the way you do that.
That's okay. You can say cultural. Viernes Cultural.
Yes. Cultural.
So the idea is to plan the next one in September?
I believe, we're going to do the next one in September, and we'll let all of our listeners know about that so they can come out and visit with us.
And you guys do a great job, and the culture is terrific. Caesar, how did you become involved with Great Florida Bank? Obviously through Leslie, but tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I've already done been commissioned to do about 3 posters for Cuban Nostalgia. I've already developed a personal relationship with Leslie over the years, and he gave me a call about a month ago, see if I'd be interested in exhibiting some work there on one of these Fridays. And it was great. We had a great time. We set up pretty quickly, and people started coming in through the doors, and it was a great time.
And you also brought your beautiful wife and your
yes,
children.
I always tried to
2 or 3?
3 children.
3 children.
What are the ranges?
14, 12, and 10.
Oh, you're into the fun years, man.
Yeah, and tell me about it.
Oh, yeah.
So
I have a theory, by the way, of kids, when they hit about 12 or 13 years old, they go into orbit. And they get out there, and they go into space.
I know.
Because they become aliens for the next 10 years. And then they finally land when they're like 22, 23.
They come back.
During those years, you don't, as a parent, you're clueless. You have no idea what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. When they come down, they still realize, God, you're really smart, Dad or Mom. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but,
No, you're not. It's absolutely true.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2 older kids. I have 2 grandsons now, and in fact, the 3-year-old got on the phone today. My daughter called me, and it was really, really sweet. I mean, he's talking a lot. He just turned 3 in February, so that was really nice. So, you have been painting since when?
Since I was 9. Well, since I can remember, I've always drawn or painted. But I knew when I was 9 years old, I had pneumonia in the hospital, and the only thing I could do to pass the time was to draw on those disgusting napkins that that's like sandpaper.
But it's smeared all over the place, and you developed a new art form, I guess.
There you go.
That, right?
There you go. Right. So, and then my parents saw that I could draw, and they put me in art school. And
oh wow!
But I always knew that I wanted to be an artist, and I wanted to make a living doing it.
So through adversity, you uncovered this gift.
Definitely, most definitely.
So, like, what kind of mediums? Because I saw that you also paint on cigar boxes,
right?
And so, like, what kind of things do you have offered?
Well, in today's art world, it's very open. Let's say in the 1800s, a person was an impressionist, a person was a realist. Right now, I do a little bit of everything. I do collage, I do sculptures, I do animations, logo design, all that type of stuff. And I think that that's really who I am. I think I'm good enough that I can do all of that and do it very well. So.
Excellent.
That's terrific. Now, of course, the listeners who can't see this now, but the piece of work that we're seeing right now, which is a Freedom Tower, correct?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit how you put that together. Obviously, you were inspired because of your culture, but boy, there's a lot of stuff there.
What happened is that yeah, it is. It's it's hundreds of photographs. But
wow.
What happened was I was at an exhibition, and Emilio Calleja came up to me because he works with Leslie a lot, and I asked him, "Hey, what are you going to do for the poster this year?" And he says, "No, I'm thinking of doing something with the Freedom Tower." Mm-hmm. And within 30 seconds, I said, "Emilio, why don't we do a collage of the Freedom Tower, and we'll take photos from the past 50 years that comprise the memories and the hardships and the battles that people had to go through in the exile community." And so I worked with the Cuban collection at the University of Miami, and they supplied me with photos. And my family and friends also supplied me with photos. But it's basically 300, 400, 500 pictures, and small pieces of paper, and they comprise the big image of the Freedom Tower.
That is just, I mean, the more I look at it, the more I see detail. I mean, I just look at it, and you look at it, and you look at it, and you're uncovering things. I bet you can look at this 100 times and spot things that you didn't see the previous 99 times you looked at it.
Yeah, most definitely. And actually, what you were saying earlier is that art does a lot of things. One of the things it does, it brings people together.
Yep.
And in this case, while I was at Cuban Nostalgia, I had people coming up to me, telling me their stories when they came through the Freedom Tower.
Oh, really?
People crying. And not only that, as looking at the photographs, I was able to learn a lot about the history of when the people came over here, coming off the plains, how, the Catholic churches, Baptist churches would come and greet the people and make them feel welcome. So it was a very enriching experience.
That's great. What else are you doing besides, is this what you do all the time, or are you involved in other things?
Well, I'm a senior designer at Univision Network.
Okay.
I also adjunct professor at the University of Miami, and I also have my own company called Go Green Art.
You're quite the busy person, aren't you?
Yes, and
We got to share notes.
and baseball coach. You know,
And baseball coach of your
of-
sons?
Since my kids were small, I've always tried to always be there for them and let them know that they're loved. And you know, my wife and I, that's our main priority.
You know, whatever else you do for them, those are the things they're going to remember when they're growing up there. Well, you know something? This day is just flying today.
This is it?
This is crazy. No, but this is not it. This is it for now, but it's not. What is the best way for the listeners to get a hold of you?
Several ways. First, my website is www.caesarsantalo.com. And or they can see me on Facebook, Caesar Santalo Fine Art.
You might want to spell your last name.
Oh yeah, it's Santalo. Okay. And my number is 305-788-7305.
Say it one more time. I've had listeners say, "Wait, I didn't get a chance to write
it's
that."
305-788-7305.
Caesar, thank you, my friend.
My pleasure.
This
Thank you
is
for
good
having me.
stuff.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Barbara, muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to go
How do
to
you say happy birthday
how do you say it?
in Espanol?
You hear it? There you go.
Yes.
You learn every day. All right, we're going to go to our final break, and when we come back, we will bring on our new entrepreneur, Edna Gutierrez.
Yes.
We'll be right back with the Pete Delatorre Business Program, sponsored by Great Florida Bank, Esserman International, Community Newspapers, Titan America, and Holiday Inn Coral Gables.
Hi, I'm Pete Delatorre, host of the Renata's Business Hour show. Do you hate your bank? Don't care? Are you tired of never being able to contact your banker and getting charged a fee for almost everything you do? Always being in the back of the line? If so, you might want to listen to what I have to say about my bank, Great Florida Bank. Here I get personalized, concierge-style service. And now is a great time to sign up for Great Florida Bank's Merchant Services Mobile Credit Card Processing Solution. Their team will take a look at your processing needs, and if a mobile solution works for you, they'll give you a mobile card reader for free. If Great Florida Bank can't meet or beat your current processing rates, you'll receive $500. And I'm going to share one of Great Florida Bank's best-kept secrets. They never charge customers to use ATMs nationwide. Plus, if another bank charges you an ATM fee, they reimburse that ATM fee anywhere in the U.S. At Great Florida Bank, they take pride in offering personalized customer service and even give their customers their cell number. If you want a banking experience like mine, the Great Florida Bank Standard of Banking, call my personal banker, Obdulio Piedra, Great Florida Bank's Miami-Dade Market President. Call his cell, 305-514-6450, and tell Obdulio I sent you.
Today, everyone wants to be environmentally responsible, but you can't recycle your way to sustainability. Real sustainability goes far beyond recycling and requires us to consider the three competing factors at work in our world: the economy, the environment, and society. By choosing concrete as your preferred building and paving material, you will achieve sustainable results in all three areas. Concrete's durability allows homes and structures built with concrete or concrete block to withstand Florida's severe weather and keep your family safe within your financial means. Concrete roads and parking lots are also very affordable, have much cooler surface temperatures, and last 3 to 5 times longer than asphalt, providing a much higher value for the money on public projects funded with your tax dollars. Lastly, concrete pavements allow shorter stopping distance in both wet and dry conditions and are reflective, providing safer conditions and better visibility at night for both pedestrians and motorists while using less energy at a lower overall cost. Choose concrete, the material for life. A message from Titan America, one of Florida's leading cement and concrete manufacturers. Visit them at TitanAmerica.com or call them at 954-481-2800.
The newly renovated Holiday Inn Miami Coral Gables is centrally located in the heart of the upscale city of Coral Gables on South Dixie Highway, across the University of Miami, and just 20 minutes from the Miami International Airport. When priorities turn from work to play, guests are central to everything, including great shopping, dining, and entertainment at Dayland Mall, the shops at Sunset Place, Coconut Grove, and Bayside Marketplace. The Miami Metro Rail is just a short walk across the street to get you to all these great attractions. All the attractions that make South Florida a favorite tourist destination are just around the corner, putting your guests within minutes to Para Jungle, Miami Sea Aquarium, Metro Zoo, and much more. For more information, please contact the sales department at 305-667-5611 or visit their website at www.hicoralgables.com. Holiday Inn Coral Gables.
Welcome back to the Pete Della Torre Business Program, sponsored by Great Florida Bank, Esserman International, Community Newspapers, Titan America, and Holiday Inn Coral Gables.
Okay, welcome back, my friends, to the last part of the first hour, the Entrepreneur Hour, the Pete Della Torre Business Program. And without further ado, I want to bring onto the show a young lady that I met about 2 weeks ago, works in the same building I do, and we just had small talk, say hello, how are you, introduce each other, and then we talked for maybe 5-10 minutes, and she's just launching her new business, and I just thought it's such a fascinating story that I want to share with all of you here. So I want to bring onto the show now Edna Gutierrez, who is the owner and the one that wears all the hats, the 35 or the 40 hats for Optical Image. Welcome to the show, Edna.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much. And you are, again, doing so much right now to get things off the ground. But before we get going, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, a little bit about myself. Who am I? I'm just a real hardworking, passionate person for everything that I do. Very passionate for the business that I just started. Everything that I do, I put my best to it. And this is the reason why I started my own business.
Well, you are following your dreams, right?
Yes, I am. I have been in the optical industry for about 20-something years now. And I have worked for various companies, and I've always, worked for companies that needed restructuring, help with operations, anything that had to do with the business. And I did it for a lot of companies, which I brought from the bottom up. And just 2 months ago, I decided, okay, if I've done it for so many companies and I have been able to help them out and bring them out of where they were to where they are today, why not do it for myself? So I just decided to do it and started my own business.
What are the core products and services?
Well, basically what my company does is all the essentials that are supplies that are needed to repair eyewear. Anything that that a lab would need or an optical shop will need for their eyewear. Nose pads, screws, and also accessories. Everything that you need for optical, basically.
And you have been in that particular business for several years, correct?
I have been in the industry, in the eyewear industry for 20 years. I started with companies doing just simple eyewear. From sunwear and regular eyewear, optical eyewear. And just recently, about maybe 6 years ago, I got into the supplies. So I left the sunwear, which was very, very glamorous and beautiful, and loved that. And I went into more of the supplies and the machines and equipment that is needed at the optical labs and at the optical shops to do the exams and be able to put a frame together for a customer, per se.
When I was talking to Edna the other day, she says 20 years, and I looked at her. She does. I'm telling you, folks, you can't see her, but she's almost like she just got out of college. She said 20 years? Were you 5 years old?
Thank you so much, Pete. Thank you. Yes, but I've been in the industry for 22 years, basically.
My God.
Yes. And
what are the challenges that you're seeing now as you're starting your business?
Actually, I think everything is a challenge, and that's what even keeps me going even further.
It motivates you.
Of course, I that's the one thing I've always loved about anything that I did in any job was give me a challenge and I'm ready to go. So I opened up this business on my own. I have no partners. I have no one working with me or for me or anything. So I have to do absolutely everything. So I had to go from finding a place where my office was going to be, setting up phones, setting up a system, getting all my permits, getting the company register, buying my product, contacting vendors. And I think the most challenging part right now, after all this has happened in the last 2 months, is reaching out to the customers. Mm-hmm. Because of, the economic situation that we're in, it's very hard to approach customers and try to sell your product and try to sell, everything that you do, because it's really hard. So I think that is the biggest challenge that I'm having right now. Before that, it was just all the setups and all the permits.
All the stuff to get, all the logistical things to get everything set up there.
Yes.
But your challenge is like many, many other entrepreneurs. When you set everything up, there's that dream and the novelty of setting up the business. I go, okay, now I need people to
What's
buy my
next?
products.
Yes.
And but something, there's good news on that front, because there are ways. You have many people around you, and but you've got to is understand that there are things that you can do and need to do ongoing to market your products and to get the customer. And it takes time.
Sure.
But it's something that, and the day that you get real successful in terms of the obvious, because something, you're successful right here and now today. Everything that you've done, taking that big leap to open up a business, everything you've done, you need to pat yourself and congratulate yourself, because that is a major, bold step, okay? But moving forward, and you and I will have conversations, and many others out there, on how to get out there and make it happen.
Yes.
But the most important thing is that you're knowledgeable, you're determined, and you've got the right ideas in place in terms of what you're going to do with your business there. One more question, and we got to wrap it up here. But and this is the big question that I ask a lot: is in 5 years, where would you love to be?
Well, in 5 years from now, I would hope OIS, what it is today, to be probably 100 times bigger than it is today. Have it run it on its own, and free myself to get into other businesses. That's where I want to be in 5 years from now. Not only stay with optical image supplies as a business, but I want to, further more. I have a passion for the movie industry. And
that's right. You do. You produce short films.
Yes, I do.
Which we're
produce short films.
So let me tell you something. There is a lot you and I are going to talk about, and we're going to get you back on the show, and we're going to see. I think it's going to be something cool. Is that every so often we'll bring you here and see how are things progressing with the business? How are things moving forward?
I would love to do that. Yes,
and that would be a good timeline to gauge moving forward, and I think that would be fascinating.
Excellent.
For the benefit of the listeners, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
The best way to get a hold would be by phone. The phone number to the office is 305-264-4845. And I do also have my website, which I'm working on right now as we speak. And that will be www.opticalimagesupplies.com.
Wonderful. Edna, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you,
out
Pete.
here.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations
Thank you.
on getting this venture off the ground. And I know for myself and speaking with you, you're going to be very, very successful.
Thank you so much. I really hope so. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we've just wrapped up the first hour of the Pete Della Torre Business Program. I want to thank all of my guests that have been with me here today. Gail Bergs, Caesar, just a phenomenal artist here, and Barbara Marcel from Great Florida Bank, and, of course, Edna. Don't touch that dial, as we will be starting our second hour in a few minutes, the 11 a.m. hour, the Power Hour. And my first guest will be Tom Erickson from Covanta Energy, just a phenomenal organization, and you're going to get to meet Tom in a couple minutes. So, again, stay where you're at, and we'll be right back at 11 a.m. Thank you so much.
We'll be right back with the Pete Della Torre Business Program, sponsored by Great Florida Bank, Esserman International, Community Newspapers, Titan America, and Holiday Inn Coral Gables.
You just had your uh-oh moment. It started when you learned your debit card had been declined. It got worse when your bank said they canceled it because personal information was compromised. Frustration turned to panic when you realized your identity, including your bank accounts, could be in the hands of some identity thief and possibly being sold on the black market. And while your bank may gladly mail you a new card, what you really need now is some real identity theft protection. Call now and order the most comprehensive identity theft protection available. LifeLock Ultimate is the only identity theft protection service that monitors bank accounts for takeover fraud. Call now and mention Enroll 60 and get 60 days risk-free. If you're not happy, call LifeLock within 60 days of enrollment and you won't pay a cent. Check lifelock.com for details. Call 1-800-638-6157. 1-800-638-6157. 1-800-638-6157. Network does not cover all transactions and scope may vary.
You know Alicia Frischberg from Radio Wall Street, but in real life, she's the Chief Investment Officer of Investing Without Borders, LLC. Alicia knows we're all inundated by government numbers and screaming headlines. And because everybody has the same news, it makes no money for anybody. Now, this is election year. The Fed was supposed to be supporting the economy. The stock market was supposed to be soaring. U.S. Treasuries paying 2% are absolutely flying. And the fastest growing economies are the ones losing the most money for investors. The conclusion? Fortune telling is kid stuff. Insight is what makes you the big bucks in real time. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, Investing Without Borders, and you'll get Alicia's special free report on 7 high dividend cash cows for safer income and profits. To get Alicia's free report, call 888-848-3263 and just tell us where to send it. Or go to www.investingwithoutborders.biz. Not .com, investingwithoutborders.biz.
I'm here to tell you that your options for getting out of debt have never been better. How do I know? Because I'm Howard Dvorkin, the founder of Consolidated Credit. For nearly 2 decades, we've helped over 5 million people just like you. And every time we help someone, they all say the same thing. Why didn't I call sooner? If you owe too much money on your credit cards and you feel that you'll never be able to pay it off, don't wait. Simply pick up the phone and find out what our Freedom Quest program can do for you. Reducing your payments by up to 50% is just the beginning, but you have to take the first step. When credit card debt is the problem, we're the solution. Call Consolidated Credit now. As soon as you call, the hard part is over.
Call Consolidated Credit now. 1-800-752-8620. 1-800-752-8620. That's 1-800-752-8620.
5701 Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Licensed debt management service provider, Vermont and New York banking departments, Maryland 149, Oregon DM 80031.
After a wonderful first quarter, volatility has once again reared its ugly head. Are you positioned to take advantage of this market, or are you sitting in cash too scared to participate? Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. Volatility is part of life in the markets, but there are ways to protect yourself and still find great opportunities. If fear has you in its grips, maybe it's time for you to review your portfolio and make sure you're properly diversified. Call me at 1-800-388-9700 and let's go over it together. At Compact, we focus on making sure that your investments are on the right track now and creating a financial plan to keep those investments on track as you move through the changes in your life and in the markets. Call 1-800-388-9700 for your free portfolio review. That's 1-800-388.
Welcome to the second hour of the Pete Delatorre Business Program, Power Hour, hosted by Pete Delatorre, President and CEO of the Renatus Group. The Pete Delatorre Business Program will discuss economic development and business opportunities for South Florida. The Pete Delatorre Business Program is sponsored by Great Florida Bank, Esserman International, Community Newspapers, Titan America, and Holiday Inn Coral Gables.
Okay, my friends, welcome back to the second hour of the Pete Delatorre Business Program. This is the Power Hour. And it's apropos that my first guest in the second hour, what they do is energy, power. So it's just we're going to have a good conversation. It's my good friend Tom Erickson from Covanta Energy, who's the facility manager. But I know he wears a bunch of other hats there. He's just an expert in this topic that we're going to talk about. And And I'm really, really grateful that he was able to come out here today and share some time with us. So he'll be number one. And number two, we're going to do a phone interview with Ralph Puga, the president of the Florida Foreign Trade Association. And the Florida Foreign Trade Association is really the organization that has put together the Alliance for International Trade. And this evening at the Miami Foreign Zone, Miami Free Zone, there will be a huge expo that will start approximately 3:30 in the afternoon. They do these expos 4 times a year at the Miami Free Zone. I think the expectation is they're going to have about 140 to 150 exhibitors. And I think that the expected turnout is going to be right about 1,000 people. They do a great job here. And, we'll bring on Ralph a little bit later. He'll give us the background on the group and the expo this evening here. Before we move on, again, we are on every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. here on 880 a.m. The Biz. We want to hear from you. The call-in number here is 305-541-2350. Want to hear your comments and suggestions on what's going on and what you'd like to hear in future shows. My email, if you want to get a hold of me, is info@PeteRadioShow.com. And the website to visit to get more information on the radio show is PeteRadioShow.com, www.PeteRadioShow.com. Become a fan of the Pete Radio Show Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at Pete Radio Show, and connect with me on LinkedIn. Now I want to bring on to the show very, very good friend of mine. We met probably about 4 or 5 years ago when I was with the Doral Business Council. And just a really good guy. He's brought a lot to the community. He's he goes along with the organization Covanta, and one of the things they do, and we'll talk about, is reaching out to the local community, and they're a great corporate sponsor. So, Tom, how are you, my friend? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing good. Thank you, Pete. It's a pleasure to be here, and I thank you for bringing me on. And also, happy birthday.
Well, thank you, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate it very, very much. Before we go on to some of the things that you guys do at Covanta, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I'm actually originally from New York, but at the age of 18, I got tired of trudging through the snow and the cold, and so I packed my bags and I moved down to Tampa, Florida in 1975. I then proceeded to go to the University of South Florida, work myself through school. And actually at St. Joseph's Hospital, I was actually supposed to be a doctor, but that just didn't pan out.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got a BS in chemistry from USF, but I've got more into the engineering field. And for the last 30 years, I know I don't look that old, but I've been managing power plants for approximately 30 years now. Presently, I work as a facility manager of the Covanta Dade Renewable Energy. Done that for the last 5.5 years, and basically in that capacity, I oversee the safe, environmentally compliant, and efficient operation of Miami-Dade County's resources recovery facility. This is actually an energy fuel waste plant that's been in the Doral area for over 30 years now.
Yeah, it's been there forever.
Yeah, I mean, when they first got there was just a few cows roaming around, and that was it. Now, look at it now. It's unbelievable. Beautiful town, too.
Yeah, the development, and of course, they just opened up the new government center in the city of Doral Friday evening, and they've got festivities planned for this weekend, so my congratulations to everybody there. Now, who is Covanta Energy?
Well, Covanta Energy is actually the largest energy from waste company in the world. We've been turning household garbage into clean energy since 1986. We've have about 40 facilities in the fleet. Either we own them outright, or as in the Miami-Dade counties, and Miami-Dade County owns a facility, and we have a contract to operate and maintain it. Of those 40 facilities, we process approximately 20 million tons of waste a year. That's 20 million tons.
Wow!
And we power enough. We create enough power from that waste to generate enough power for approximately 1 million homes. Not only that, but we also recover from the waste about 400,000 tons of ferrous and 15,000 tons of non-ferrous annually. To put that in perspective, that's enough steel and aluminum to build 5 Golden Gate bridges and produce over 1 billion beverage cans every year. It's amazing.
All in that plant?
No, that's out of the 40 plants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, how does a lot, what you guys are doing are recycling? How does that process work?
Well, at the Miami-Dade County's Resources Recovery Facility, it's really a simple process. It's just the equipment and the stuff in between that's a little bit complicated. But basically, we take your garbage, Pete. We take my garbage. We take basically everyone's garbage from Miami-Dade County. We bring it into the facility. It's an RDF, refuse-derived facility. We take that garbage. What we do is shred it, and then we'll size it. We make what's called a refuse-derived fuel out of it. We then use that fuel we burn it. We generate heat. We use that heat to generate steam in boilers, and then we use the steam to drive turbine generators to create electricity. So again, it's a very simple transfer of energy. We're just taking garbage, we're burning it, we generate heat, use the heat to generate steam, and then use the steam as a motive force to drive turbines. We process up to 4,200 tons of household waste and wood waste a day, or approximately in our facility alone in Miami-Dade, 1.2 million tons a year. That's it. That's incredible. One facility. We're actually the largest facility of its type, not only in the country, but the world, right here in Miami-Dade County. The main goal of the plant, though, is actually reduce the volume of waste. In the combustion process, we do that by a 90% factor. So instead of having this large amount of garbage to get rid of, which used to just get thrown into a landfill,
right,
we then combust it and we reduce the volume.
Break them up into
like 10%, and it's just all remaining is an inert ash. But in that process, we also generate enough power from this one facility to power 50,000 homes. We also recover 25,000 tons of steel and approximately 2,500 tons of aluminum a year out of that one facility. Again, we're the biggest. We're the biggest in the world.
And you guys are a major partner with Miami-Dade County.
Absolutely. We do a lot of things in Miami-Dade County. We support a number of community programs and civic organizations over the years. Mm-hmm. Name a few. South Florida After School All-Stars, big contributor in that. United Way of Miami, American Cancer Society, Miami-Dade Community College. We do tours for the college students, the environmental departments. Also, the financial departments come in to learn. The financiers, they love to learn about how to build these plants. We are active participate in Biscayne Bonanza, Fishing for Energy. Doral Middle School, I love that one. I started that when I got here. We team up with Doral Middle School where we actively, that all started with their agri-science department. They have an agri-science department, and their goats and chickens and all were running loose. They got out, so we went in there and said, hey, we'll build you new enclosures, and we did that for them. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great program. We do the Rotary Club, Doral Business Council. I worked with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce, which we'll be working with you now with that. Mm-hmm. American Heart Association, Miami-Dade Coastal Cleanup, Overtown Youth Center, RX for Safety. That's outdated prescription disposal. We dispose of outdated prescriptions at the plant. Youth athletic team sponsorships. If the guys in the plants come to me, they say, Tom, we want to sponsor this basketball team. I said, yeah, no problem.
Well, what you guys do is a perfect example of what, companies, and they don't have to be huge companies, but you're in a community and you're part of it, and that community has embraced you and welcomed you there. It is, I think, more important than ever to give back to the community and to be a good corporate partner. And that's a perfect example. In fact, that's ingrained in the culture of Covanta, is it not?
Yeah, I've been with the company for a long time now, and that's one thing I've always enjoyed about it is they want the managers and the people in the plant to get out, become part of the community, and it's great. I have budget line items to do work with, and the other thing though that people don't understand, we have over 200 employees, full-time employees at that plant, and also I use about 50 temps a day. Mm-hmm. So at any given day, there's 250 people that are making a livelihood out of that.
Giving back to the local economy, absolutely.
About $35 million a year pumped into the local economy from that one facility.
That is very, very impressive, and I know the city of Doral is very happy about that. That's not such a bad thing there. Getting back a little bit into the benefits of recovering energy from waste, because it's something that I think needs to be expanded, don't you think? And this is something that...
Absolutely. And we're seeing it more and more every day. I'm getting requests for tours from people from all over the world. And I've toured people from all the South American countries, Central American. We just had a Mexican government come in the other day. They have some real problems down in Mexico City, 25 million people, and the landfill's filled up, and they have to do something about it. So they're looking at very closely at energy from waste as an option. But we provide a very safe, environmentally responsible solution to waste disposal. We generate a clean, renewable energy from garbage, something that used to have zero value, something that you just used to throw in a hole in the ground would just sit there and rot. But now we've taken that material, something that had zero value, and we're getting a use out of it. Not only are we basically getting rid of two problems. We're disposing of the waste, reducing the volume by 90% through the combustion process, but we're also generating electricity. We offset in all of the Covanta facilities the equivalent of 20 million barrels of oil or 5 million tons of coal annually by producing energy from waste rather than from coal or oil.
Do you think what you guys do needs to be more of what we do in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to see it more and more. One of the biggest problems, and you see this in Europe, Europe doesn't have a whole lot of space for landfills. Same thing in you look at Taiwan and Japan, there's just no room there. Mm-hmm. So these countries and areas rely a lot on energy from waste to dispose of their materials. They also, to get the electricity, you look at the electrical costs in those countries, sky high. Mm-hmm. So it's very economically feasible to do these facilities. China is also taken off. It's incredible how many plants they're looking that they have in that country already and what they're looking to put there.
Is Covanta looking to expand here locally, its facilities, or do are those types of things in the works? Have you looked at that?
Yeah, we've looked at it. The county actually is putting together it's a 30-year master plan. They're working on that as we speak. The county has a responsibility to take care of the needs of the people, not only today and tomorrow, but they have to look down the road on the long term.
Absolutely.
So, one of the things might be energy from waste expansion. We really don't know yet. We've been working with them, but we haven't seen the final product yet. But, as the landfills fill up, they have landfills in North and South Dade and Medley. As those landfills fill up, what are you going to do with it? Mm-hmm. That's the question. What are you going to do with it? Out of the 1.2 million tons of waste that we dispose of, you can't recycle everything, although, in my opinion, we are recycling. We're recycling that waste into both energy, and we're also covering steel and aluminum out of it. But, I think you're going to see in this country in the next 10, 20 years more an upsurge of waste energy.
Well, with the price, of oil, doing what it's doing, there's been talk for several years about finding alternative means of energy and all that, but you guys are doing something about it, but a lot of it is also just a lot of talk. And,
yes.
And and I think just in our backyard, just in the resources that we have here, but also being resourceful.
Mm-hmm.
And
exactly.
What we're talking about here today is being resourceful.
You look what happened in India yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
600 million people without power in that country.
Can you imagine that?
That's
double the population of the United States.
That's Canada, United States, and Mexico.
Yeah.
Everybody without power in Canada, United States, and Mexico. And, obviously they have other issues, but, you throw a few plants in like this in the mix along with the conventional utility plants. It's good. You get a little bit more portfolio, different types of plants that are very consistent in operation also. Mm-hmm. We have a very consistent operation at these facilities. We generate power on a very sustainable level. So, I think you're going to see more of it, and its time has come.
Absolutely. And I think that, we keep hearing all of the folks that say save the planet, going green and doing this and doing that. But I think what Covanta is doing is being part of the solution.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And we all do. I tell you, all the people in Covanta, we're all very proud of what we do. And the people in that plant are very proud of what we do. And it's a wonderful thing.
As we're wrapping it up here this morning, Tom, do you have any final comments you want to share with the listeners?
Well, if you, again, we tore like over 1,000 people a year through that facility. So if anyone wants a tour, you can just give a plant a call at 305-593-7000. That's 305-593-7000. If you want to learn a little bit more about Covanta, you can look on the internet at www.covantaenergy.com. That's COVANTA energy.com. We welcome tours, and not a lot of plants do that.
What is the address?
6990 Northwest 97th Avenue, and it's right in Doral. It's like I said, we've been there for 30 years now, over 30 years. We tour residents, school children, college kids, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, people interested in the process, people from all over the world we brought into that facility. I had a tour from Moldova a few months ago, which is just south of the Ukraine, and they're looking to basically develop a third world country into a more modernized, and they're looking at waste energy from waste. We also obviously get a lot of politicians coming in, so it's
especially this time of year.
Oh yeah. But I've toured some interesting people. You'd be amazed, Pete. Vice president, potential vice presidents of the United States, governors, a lot of guys.
This is fascinating, Tom. I'm going to have you back on the show at some point soon. It's great conversation, and again, these are the things and the topics that are part of the solution of the world that we're living in today. And
people don't realize they just put their garbage out in the curb, and as long as it gets picked up, they don't really care.
Where does it go?
Most people don't even know, but we'll give you the opportunity. Come on down. We're very proud of the facility. We're proud to show it, and just come on down, and we'll show you. We'll also show you how electricity is made. A lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand that. They turn the light switch on and the lights come on, but where does that come from?
I've actually got to do that tour.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got to come out there, and I've been out to the plant many times, but I've got to do the tour. And I think this is great information. So, friend, thank you, buddy. Thanks for coming out here this morning. And, again, we'll bring you back soon. We're going to go to another break, and we'll continue with the Pete Della Torre Business Program's Power Hour.
We'll be right back with the Pete Della Torre Business Program, sponsored by Great Florida Bank, Esserman International, Community Newspapers, Titan America, and Holiday Inn Coral Gables.
Hi, I'm Pete Della Torre, host of the Renata's Business Hour show. Do you hate your bank? Don't care? Are you tired of never being able to contact your banker and getting charged a fee for almost everything you do? Always being in the back of the line? If so, you might want to listen to what I have to say about my bank, Great Florida Bank. Here I get personalized, concierge-style service. And now is a great time to sign up for Great Florida Bank's Merchant Services Mobile Credit Card Processing Solution. Their team will take a look at your processing needs, and if a mobile solution works for you, they'll give you a mobile card reader for free. If Great Florida Bank can't meet or beat your current processing rates, you'll receive $500. And I'm going to share one of Great Florida Bank's best kept secrets. They never charge customers to use ATMs nationwide. Plus, if another bank charges you an ATM fee, they reimburse that ATM fee anywhere in the U.S. At Great Florida Bank, they take pride in offering personalized customer service and even give their customers their cell number. If you want a banking experience like mine, the Great Florida Bank Standard of Banking, call my personal banker, Obdulio Piedra, Great Florida Bank's Miami-Dade Market President. Call his cell, 305-514-6450, and tell Obdulio I sent you.
Today, everyone wants to be environmentally responsible, but you can't recycle your way to sustainability. Real sustainability goes far beyond recycling and requires us to consider the three competing factors at work in our world: the economy, the environment, and society. By choosing concrete as your preferred building and paving material, you will achieve sustainable results in all three areas. Concrete's durability allows homes and structures built with concrete or concrete block to withstand Florida's severe weather and keep your family safe within your financial means. Concrete roads and parking lots are also very affordable, have much cooler surface temperatures, and last 3 to 5 times longer than asphalt. providing a much higher value for the money on public projects funded with your tax dollars. Lastly, concrete pavements allow shorter stopping distance in both wet and dry conditions and are reflective, providing safer conditions and better visibility at night for both pedestrians and motorists while using less energy at a lower overall cost. Choose concrete, the material for life. A message from Titan America, one of Florida's leading cement and concrete manufacturers. Visit them at TitanAmerica.com or call them at 954-481-2800.
Forever Smile Dentistry is dedicated to serve patients in our community. Their state-of-the-art technology allows them to offer you and your family the highest level of care you're looking for. They will give you a warm welcome and ongoing commitment to your dental health and beauty. Dr. Amaral and her experienced team are committed to excellence by providing you with the highest quality and ethical treatment modern dentistry has to offer. They work with their patients so they can achieve and maintain a beautiful smile and healthier gums and teeth. They take the time with their patients to explain their treatment options and inform them of additional preventative care. They feel this will lead to a more trusting doctor-patient relationship and, for many people, relieve the stress about seeing a dentist. Have you ever dreamed of that perfect smile? Well, here is where your dreams come true. Visit their website, www.foreversmiledentistry.com. To make an appointment, call 305-274-0425. Welcome back to the Pete Della Torre Business Program, sponsored by Great Florida Bank, Esserman International, Community Newspapers, Titan America, and Holiday Inn Coral Gables.
Welcome back, my friends, to the Pete Della Torre Business Program's Power Hour. And again, thank you to Tom Erickson from Covanta Energy. Just very, very practical and much needed information regarding energy and recycling. And again, what they're doing at Covanta is very, very meaningful, and they are making a difference, and they are definitely part of the solution. Now it is my pleasure to bring on to the Pete Della Torre Business Program a very good friend of mine, who has an enormous event this evening and has graciously accepted the invitation to be on for a few minutes this morning. Ralph Puga, president of the Florida Foreign Trade Association. How are you, Ralph?
How are you, Pete? Thank you for having me. I congratulate you on your new show. I'm sure it'll fulfill a great purpose in our community.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here, and again, I agree with you. There's so much to share with the community as to what's happening here, and especially we need to share the good news of what's developing out here. And good news is that this evening you have a huge event over at the Miami Free Zone that has been now a staple in the business community. Tell the listeners a little bit about what we're seeing, what we're going to see this evening.
Well, first of all, it's our 13th Alliance Business Expo. The Alliance to Promote International Trade is a program created by the Florida Foreign Trade Association, which is a unique group made up of chambers of commerce and trade organizations with the purpose of furthering and creating business opportunities that will have a positive impact in our economy. Our greatest asset is our ability to work together. And tonight, our theme is Trade Colombia. We will have many different VIPs from the different chambers attending, and also possibly, if I'm not mistaken, the ambassador of Colombia to the United States will be here this afternoon. There will be over 130 booths, exhibitors made up of, again, like I said, the different members of the chambers and trade organizations with the opportunity of showcasing their products. And we invite the general business community. There's no charge for the parking, and there's no charge to enter. All you have to do is to bring your business card, and that's all. And enjoy the show and the presentation. And the formal opening will be, well, it's open since 3 o'clock, but at 5 we'll do a formal opening. Okay, and we'll have some important guest speakers, as I mentioned before, and we hope to have at least 800 or 900 visitors. Last time we had 1,175, so we want to maintain that level of attendance and results at the end of the day.
Ralph, now, as part of the expo, you also have educational seminars prior to the start, correct?
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm sorry. So many things going on. Yes, we do have 4 seminars. One of them being the tourism and trade opportunities with Colombia, because we're celebrating on the theme Trade Colombia, the flower day. In other words, Colombia is one of the biggest exporters of flowers, and they have a great presentation and fair in the month of August. And this is one of the reasons that we want to familiarize the business community with what's going on. And their tourism department is going to speak about the opportunities and also traveling opportunities there for those who want to actually see the fair. And also, as you know, that Colombia now enjoys a free trade agreement with the United States.
Yes, indeed.
And they have really taken advantage of it. And basically, the commercial side, which is Pro Expo, will be talking about the business opportunities with Colombia, with the trade agreement and so forth. So this is it's going to be a real eye-opening. There's no cost for the seminars. Like I said, there's no cost to come into the show, because we want to make this available to the business community. And the easier that we do it, and the more enthusiasm that we can create in order to learn about all these important points, is how we fulfill all of our jobs.
You know that tonight is a perfect blend of education and networking. Right. The seminars are very, very informative, very helpful. But when you look at the opportunity to network, not just Miami-Dade County, but you have significant presence from organization in Broward, correct?
Right. The Broward County Chamber of Commerce is a great supporter. They've been with us since the beginning. And there is about 35 companies coming in from Broward County to showcase their products.
I've got to tell you, this is always a very, very successful event. You get to meet some great people, the exhibitors, the companies that are out there displaying their products and services. But as you roam around, and I know there's going to be some food available and right. some other activities as well.
Yes, we usually have different countries providing some of the services of the restaurants, so people have an opportunity to taste the different culinary niceties of the different countries. And I think we're going to have about 2 or 3 here in the expo today. I'm sorry, I don't remember which they are. And then also, as we're going to have a nice typical dance right after the provided by the chamber, the Colombian Chamber, who has been very, very busy, and they're responsible for organizing anything related to the theme of Colombia today. And I think I'm trying to remember one more. Yes, and we're going to have the Colombian representation of their coffee here, so people can taste their actual Colombian coffee. And also, we're going to have cigar rollers, although this is a no-smoking area, but some of you that like to have cigars have the opportunity to take some home with you.
You know, you guys are not missing anything there. I mean, you have a full program. There's something there for everyone. And if again, for all the listeners, all the business professionals that are tuning in this morning, you want to go and network and have an opportunity to expand your business, this is where you need to be tonight. What is I know, of course, it's at the Miami Free Zone, but for the benefit of the listeners that haven't been out there, what is the address, Ralph?
The address is our address is 2335 Northwest 107th Avenue. You can't miss it. It's just beyond the Miami International.
Just north of the Miami International Mall, correct?
Mall, exactly. Just before you get to 25th, you'll see a gigantic parking space, and that's where the building is.
Yeah, it's on the southeast corner of 107th and 25th Street. So, again, you can't miss it. There's plenty of parking, and it's going to be a great event. Ralph, thank you so much for being part of the show today.
My pleasure. I look forward to seeing all of you that can come. Thank you.
Okay, terrific. Take care, Ralph. Bye-bye. All right, we're going to go to a final break in the second hour, and then there's a couple of things that I want to share with all of you that are tuning in. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with the Pete De La Torre Business Program, sponsored by Great Florida Bank. Esserman International, Community Newspapers, Titan America, and Holiday Inn Coral Gables.
The newly renovated Holiday Inn Miami Coral Gables is centrally located in the heart of the upscale city of Coral Gables on South Dixie Highway, across the University of Miami, and just 20 minutes from the Miami International Airport. When priorities turn from work to play, guests are central to everything, including great shopping, dining, and entertainment at Dayland Mall, the shops at Sunset Place, Coconut Grove, and Bayside Marketplace. The Miami Metro Rail is just a short walk across the street to get you to all these great attractions. All the attractions that make South Florida a favorite tourist destination are just around the corner, putting your guests within minutes to Para Jungle, Miami Sea Aquarium, Metro Zoo, and much more. For more information, please contact the sales department at 305-667-5611 or visit their website at www.hicoralgables.com. Holiday Inn Coral Gables.
Hi, I'm Pete Delatorre, host of the Renata's Business Hour show. Do you hate your bank? Don't care? Are you tired of never being able to contact your banker and getting charged a fee for almost everything you do? Always being in the back of the line? If so, you might want to listen to what I have to say about my bank, Great Florida Bank. Here I get personalized, concierge-style service. And now is a great time to sign up for Great Florida Bank's Merchant Services Mobile Credit Card Processing Solution. Their team will take a look at your processing needs, and if a mobile solution works for you, they'll give you a mobile card reader for free. If Great Florida Bank can't meet or beat your current processing rates, you'll receive $500. And I'm going to share one of Great Florida Bank's best-kept secrets. They never charge customers to use ATMs nationwide. Plus, if another bank charges you an ATM fee, they reimburse that ATM fee anywhere in the U.S. At Great Florida Bank, they take pride in offering personalized customer service and even give their customers their cell number. If you want a banking experience like mine, the Great Florida Bank Standard of Banking, call my personal banker, Obdulio Piedra, Great Florida Bank's Miami-Dade Market President. Call his cell, 305-514-6450, and tell Obdulio I sent you.
Welcome back to the Pete Delatorre Business Program, sponsored by Great Florida Bank, Esserman International, Community Newspapers, Titan America, and Holiday Inn Coral Gables.
Welcome back, my friends, to the Pete Delatorre Business Program. Again, we're on every week, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on 880 a.m. The Biz. And if you can't be in front of a radio, you can tune in online. It is streamed online at 880thebiz, biz.com. And it is heard throughout the world. So I welcome all of you to make it a weekly ritual to listen to us on every Wednesday morning. I want to share now with you, we ran out of time in the first hour, I think a fabulous piece of information that is directed to aspiring entrepreneurs, folks that are looking to start their business for the first time, or those of you that have just started. And these are some great tips that are structured for small business startups. Again, the intention here is to turn that dream of yours into a reality. Now, if you think you're the next Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg, okay, if that's the case, then you need to listen here. This is very, very important. The world's meteoric startups, the rare few that topple industries and remake society, are usually built by breaking rules, not following them. On the other hand, you probably aren't them, okay? However, startups that turn into multi-billion-dollar companies are the business world's equivalent of lottery winners. Stake everything you have on a dream of a jackpot, and you're likely to hold up holding worthless scraps of paper. Okay, now, we know that life is a reality, and not all of us are going to have the next Facebook, the next Amazon, whatever that might be there. But it is still a possibility. But to make it a possibility and to make it a reality, there are 10 rules for starting a small business that you need to engage, you need to internalize and implement. Okay? Let's start with number 1. Be realistic about your business. When contemplating a business model, look around and find successful examples of that model to study. If you can't find any, then you're either an extraordinary genius or the business model can't work in the real world. Choose whichever is more likely. Number 2, don't invest your own capital. If you knew with 100% certainty that your oil well would strike back black gold, then you'd be better off borrowing the money to start it up, knowing full well that you could pay off the loan and keep all the future profits to yourself. But since most businesses are very risky ventures, especially new ones, you should take an equity partners instead. That way, if things don't pan out, you won't be on the hook for the costs and you can move on to the next venture. Third, be your own slave labor. Unless you're willing to work for hours on end, foregoing your own benefits and health, or unless you're blessed with a 401k or a trust fund, entrepreneurship may not be for you. We talked earlier with one of our guests that we need to hear the things that are important for us, not necessarily what we want to hear. So the things that I'm sharing with all of you right now here, although they're sobering, although they're real world, they're meant to really have you look at yourself as to fulfilling this entrepreneur dream that you have. It is possible for all of you, okay? But it is a challenging road, and you need to know up front what those challenges might be. So let's continue here. It's important that you value your time. Okay, we've talked about being realistic about your business. Don't invest in your own capital. Okay, we talked about equity partners and the fact that you're going to have to put in a lot of hours and wear a lot of hats. So with that in mind, it's important that you value your time. I mean this literally. Pick a dollar amount that your time is worth. You may not actually be paying yourself, but just having the number can help you make many day-to-day decisions. For instance, say your time is worth $60 an hour. If Costco will deliver your weekly supplies for $100 and it would take you 2 hours to do the shopping yourself, then it might make sense to have Costco deliver the products for you. The next step, number 5, hire well. This is important. Regardless of how small a business you own, eventually you will probably have to hire outside help, whether in the form of a cashier, clerk, or accountant. I can think of nothing worse than a business owner who has a vision for their business yet hires employees who consistently thwart this vision. Make the hiring process as careful and deliberate and important as the starting of the business. Number 6, sell on features, not on price. When starting your own business, you naturally will be desperate for sales. You'll do anything to get a sale. But if you're competing on price, soon you're going to be selling at cost or even below. Instead, this is very important, master the art of explaining to your customers why your higher price is actually a better value. Now, we know that price is relevant and is based on perception. It really is the value that you bring to your client, to your customer. So it is very important that you understand. And 2 weeks ago, we had Jack G. Hardy on the show, and he talked about the core value. And it's something that you need to define before you get into any of the things that I'm talking about here today. It's understanding your purpose and what you bring. What is your value to your potential client? Because at the end of the day, the purpose of a business is not to make a profit, okay? It is to serve the customer. And the way that you serve the customer is the value that you bring to that customer. So don't get caught up in price because you're dead in the water. This is important here now in terms of your financials. Know your nut. Know exactly how much money you need to stay in business. Everything from rent, electricity, and workers' comp insurance, to the coffee, to toner cartridges, paper, and even what you pay your tax preparer. Divide that number by the number of days a year that you're open for business, and that's your nut. That's your monthly budget, mind you. The minimum amount of money you need to bring in every day. Keep track of it on a daily basis. If you have lots of days where you don't make your nut, you need to rethink things. Very, very important, my friends. This we've talked about many times. Embrace new technologies. New technologies such as cloud applications and mass data storage have lowered the cost of entry for small businesses. These technology solutions are inexpensive and allow small businesses to compete with large corporations on a scale never seen before. Small businesses need to take advantage of low-cost technology tools, leaving entrepreneurs with more money to invest in their ideas. Number 9, treat your vendors well. Treat your high-volume vendors at least as well as your best customers. They can discount your raw materials based on volume, or even just on the relationship and the hope of future volume. And lastly, be damn good at what you do. Okay? This is what sets you apart. An employee at a large corporation can afford to be mediocre, although I think I would tend to disagree with that. But you know something? What's even more important is that you can't. Every job you do for a client has to be the best job you can do. Every widget you make has to be the very best widget you can make. Do that, and word will spread. Self-employment is something that is a way of life. It can be very exciting, can be very challenging. But in today's world, in summary, my friends, all of you who have a dream of becoming an entrepreneur have that opportunity today, I think more than ever. However, it's also very important to understand that there are going to be challenges. But we all know at the end of the day that anything worthwhile attaining is not going to be easy. But if you're determined and you're focused and you're consistent, you will be successful. So that is a big tip that I want to send out and to all of the entrepreneurs out there, the aspiring entrepreneurs. Very, very important information. I want to share with all of you very briefly here the Beacon Council. They have a great website with terrific information on economic development, and they just had a press release back on the 20th of July updating the fact that Miami-Dade County has added 10,800 new jobs in the month of June. Now, the unemployment rate did go up, but according to President and CEO Frank Nero from the Beacon Council, one of the reasons why the unemployment rate went up a little bit is because during the summer, with education and people going on, trips and all that, you see, that number typically going down. We're in a slower season. Business, summer vacationing picks up, so that's what skewed the numbers down. But the unemployment rate, which went up to 10.3%, okay, is still 2.1% points lower than a year ago. Okay, a year ago, it was 12.4%. So we are down quite a bit in 12 months. So good news. I would urge you to go to the Beacon Council website to check out the information. And with this, they have many other articles of interest that you need to look at yourself. So I want to thank all the guests that were here this morning, starting with the first hour. We had Gail Bergs, Cesar Santalo, the artist. We had Barbara Marcel from Great Florida Bank, and, of course, Edna Gutierrez, who just started her business, Optical Image. The second hour, of course, Tom Erickson from Covanta Energy and Ralph Puga from the Florida Foreign Trade Association. I want to let everyone know that next week we have an amazing 2 hours planned for you. We have the likes of Jose Abreu, the director of Miami International Airport, who will be with us. Billy Talbert, my good friend who has been with us a couple of times, President and CEO of the Greater Miami Conventions and Visitors Bureau. Jerry Haar, who oversees the Pino Global Entrepreneurship Center at FIU, will be with us as well. And we have some other surprises in store for all of you. So next week's show is going to be packed, and I urge everyone to take the time to tune in. Again, my website for this show is PeteRadioshow.com. The email is info at PeteRadioshow.com. If you want to get involved, you want to be a potential sponsor, please let me know. My phone number is 305-490-2348, and I really want to listen to all of you in the coming weeks. And if you've got questions, you've got things that you want to share with us, please let me know. And if you've got a great, great success story, an entrepreneur success story, I want to hear about it so that we could possibly get you on the show and talk about that as well. So I want to thank you all. I'm actually taking off a little bit early. I've got to run over to Jungle Island for a big luncheon at the Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will do it again next Wednesday, August 8th at 10 a.m. here on 880 AM The Biz. My friends, make it a great and profitable week. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Pete Delatorre Business Program. Tune in again next Wednesday at 10 a.m. for more of the Pete Delatorre Business Program, sponsored by Great Florida Bank, Esserman International.